Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, Dominari Holdings Incorporated DOM just filed an 8K reporting a change in their certifying accountant, and I am seeing some red flags that matter. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company just fired their accounting firm and hired a new one, and the reasons for the dismissal raise some serious questions about their internal controls. This is a current report, a notification by the company to the stock market about significant events. The main news here is a change in their auditor. This is usually a pretty standard administrative thing, but sometimes it can signal deeper issues. So Dominari Holdings Incorporated, or the company as they call it, decided on the 24th of June 2026 to let go of CB's PC, their accounting firm. This was approved by the company's audit committee. Now, this isn't the first time they've changed auditors recently. Back in April 2025, they dismissed Markham LLP and brought in CB's PC. Switching auditors less than 2 years after bringing in the previous one is definitely worth a closer look. The report states that the auditors who were just let go did not issue any adverse opinions or disclaimers of opinion on the company's financial statements. It also says there were no significant disagreements on accounting principles or disclosures that would have caused the auditors to mention them in their reports. This sounds pretty normal on the surface, but then it gets interesting. While there weren't any major disagreements officially, the company does admit to several material weaknesses in their internal financial controls. And these are not minor issues. We're talking about a lack of staff to properly close the books on time, insufficient review of how certain transactions are accounted for, a lack of proper segregation of duties, which is a big deal for preventing fraud, some control problems with access to systems, and not enough documentation to prove their controls are working. Imagine trying to build a house but you don't have enough skilled workers, no proper blueprints, and the security system for your tools is broken. That is essentially what they are saying about their financial reporting. These aren't just ticks in a box, these are fundamental issues that could lead to errors in financial statements, or even fraud. The company says they sent this report to the old accounting firm and asked them to confirm if they agree with these statements. The letter from CB's dated a couple of days after this report is included as an exhibit. This letter is important because it gives the perspective of the dismissed auditor. We would need to see that letter to get their full side of the story. But the fact that they are allowing this disclosure implies a level of agreement with the company's description. Now, who is the new auditor? It is Grassi & Company CPA's PC. They've been hired to do the audit for the fiscal year ending the 31st of December 2026. The filing states that the company did not consult with Grassi before hiring them about any of these accounting or auditing issues. This is often done to ensure the new auditor is independent and hasn't been involved in any disagreements with the previous firm. This section just lists the exhibits that are part of this filing. The most important one here for us would be Exhibit 16.1, that letter from the previous auditors, CPA's PC. Unfortunately, the actual text of that letter isn't in this document. It is a separate exhibit. Looking at the research context, Dominari Holdings Incorporated DOM has a market cap of around $66 million and trades at about $2.93 a share. They have 36 employees. Recent news shows a surge in revenue in 2025, which is positive, but switching auditors and admitting to material weaknesses in internal controls can create uncertainty. Institutional investors like Creek Drive Management Group LLC and Vanguard Capital Management LLC are holding shares, so this news could be watched closely by them. So what does this all mean? Usually changing auditors is a normal business decision, but when it happens this frequently, and especially when the company admits to significant weaknesses in its financial controls, it's a signal to pay close attention. We are not necessarily seeing outright fraud here, but we are seeing a company that has struggled to maintain robust internal financial controls. This can lead to inaccurate financial reporting, which can then mislead investors. For a company like Dominari Holdings Incorporated, with a relatively small market cap, these kinds of control issues can be amplified. A small error or a poorly managed process might not be a big deal for a giant corporation, but for a smaller company, it can have a much bigger impact. Think of it like a small boat taking on a bit of water versus a huge cruise ship. The small boat is in more immediate danger. The fact that the company cited multiple material weaknesses is concerning. These aren't just theoretical problems, they directly impact the reliability of the financial information that investors use to make decisions. For instance, the lack of personnel to close books accurately and on time means that even if executives want to present correct numbers, they might not have the team to actually do it. This is like a chef who wants to cook a perfect meal but doesn't have enough hands in the kitchen. My biggest concern is the pattern of auditor changes and the admitted internal control deficiencies. It raises questions about the company's ability to provide dependable financial information. While the recent revenue surge is a good sign, investors need to be confident that the numbers they're seeing are accurate. What I am actually looking for is that letter 16.1 from the former auditors. That will give us more color on the situation and whether the auditors truly agree with the company's assessment or if there were deeper issues that were glossed over in this 8K filing. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If you found this analysis valuable, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more. The Discord link is in the description.